In late December 2025, tensions in the Taiwan Strait reached a boiling point as the world watched with growing anxiety. The region, already a flashpoint for decades, suddenly found itself at the center of a dramatic escalation that would capture global headlines and spark urgent diplomatic discussions. China launched Justice Mission 2025, a massive, full-scale war simulation that saw its military forces encircle Taiwan from all sides. The operation was unprecedented in scale and coordination, involving thousands of troops, dozens of warships, and a complex network of military assets. The People's Liberation Army rehearsed a blockade, aiming to cut off vital supplies and isolate the island. Amphibious and air assault drills were carried out with precision, as 8 operation zones were established, some of which crossed into Taiwan's territorial waters, raising the stakes and heightening fears of a real conflict. Beijing framed the drills as a direct response to what it called provocations from Taiwan's government, especially following the inauguration of President William Lai Ching-te, who is seen by China as a strong advocate for Taiwan's sovereignty. The message from Beijing was clear: any move toward formal independence would be met with overwhelming force. The live-fire exercises, using real ammunition and advanced weaponry, sent a chilling message to Taiwan's 23 million people and the world. Explosions lit up the night sky, and the thunder of artillery echoed across the strait, making it clear that China is both willing and able to use force if it deems necessary. The frequency and intensity of these drills have steadily increased over the past year, signaling a new era of military pressure and strategic signaling from Beijing. Each exercise is more complex and aggressive than the last, keeping Taiwan and its allies on constant alert. For 2 tense days, the region was on edge. The PLA showcased not only its military might, but also its ability to wage psychological warfare, aimed at intimidating both Taiwan's government and its civilian population, as well as sending a message to the international community. The world entered the new year with urgent questions about East Asia's stability. Governments from Washington to Tokyo scrambled to assess the risks, while the United Nations consensus called emergency meetings to discuss the rapidly evolving crisis. Justice Mission 2025 was more than just a military drill. It was a stark warning to Taiwan and the world. Its shadow lingers, leaving the region bracing for what might come next. Justice Mission 2025 was not just a routine exercise, it was a bold and unmistakable display of China's modern military might, intended to send a powerful message to both Taiwan and the world. The scale and coordination of the operation were unlike anything seen in the region in recent years. Over 200 Chinese aircraft sorties were detected in just a matter of days, with 125 of those crossing the Taiwan Strait's median line. An unprecedented provocation that shattered previous records and heightened tensions across the region. Advanced fighter jets and H-6 bombers simulated long-range strikes on strategic targets, while 18 PLA Navy warships rehearsed blockades of Taiwan's key ports, demonstrating a high level of coordination between air and naval forces. The China Coast Guard joined the operation, with 14 vessels patrolling dangerously close to Taiwan's shores and outlying islands, blurring the line between military and law enforcement actions. For the first time, Coast Guard ships circled Pratas Island, expanding the pressure campaign and signaling that no part of Taiwan's territory was beyond reach. The most alarming escalation came with 27 rockets launched from the Chinese mainland, 10 of which landed within Taiwan's contiguous zone, closer than ever before, and a stark warning of what could come next. The PLA used advanced rocket systems to simulate precision strikes on critical infrastructure, signaling Beijing's readiness to escalate further if necessary, and showcasing new capabilities. These maneuvers rehearsed isolating Taiwan from outside help, effectively simulating a blockade scenario, and raising the stakes for any potential conflict in the Taiwan Strait. The drills were a calculated show of force, designed to intimidate, deter, and demonstrate China's growing military reach and confidence. The message was clear: China is prepared for confrontation, and the world is watching closely as tensions continue to rise in the region. China made no secret of its intentions. Justice Mission 2025 was a direct warning to Taiwan's pro-independence government. The message was clear: any move toward formal independence would be met with a powerful response. Beijing's leadership, through both the official statements and military displays, sought to leave no doubt about its resolve. The PLA declared the drills a punishment for separatist moves and a reminder that Beijing will meet defiance with overwhelming force. These exercises were not just routine. They were designed to showcase China's growing military capabilities and its willingness to use them if provoked. The scale and coordination of the drills sent a message not only to Taipei, but to the entire region. The exercises also targeted the US and its allies, warning them to stay out of what China calls its internal affairs. By flexing its military muscle so close to Taiwan, Beijing aimed to deter any foreign intervention and to signal that the balance of power in the region is shifting. Recent US arms sales and allied support for Taiwan have fueled Beijing's narrative of foreign interference. Chinese officials have repeatedly accused Washington and its partners of destabilizing the region, using every new weapons deal as further evidence of outside meddling. The drills tested China's ability to coordinate its military branches for a swift, decisive blockade, aiming to force Taiwan's surrender without invasion. By simulating a blockade, China demonstrated not only its military reach, but also its strategic planning, hoping to pressure Taiwan's leaders into submission. State media amplified the psychological impact, depicting Taiwan as surrounded and hinting at decapitation strikes. The coverage was relentless, designed to sow fear and uncertainty among both Taiwan's population and its leadership. The goal: demoralize Taiwan, deter foreign intervention, and shift the political calculus. By creating a sense of inevitability, China hoped to weaken resistance and discourage any thoughts of outside support. China also practiced countering US or allied attempts to break a blockade. These scenarios included intercepting foreign vessels and repelling potential air or sea interventions, further demonstrating China's readiness for escalation. Justice Mission 2025 was both a rehearsal and a warning: military and psychological warfare in action. The world watched as China flexed its power, leaving Taipei and its allies to ponder their next move in an increasingly tense standoff. Taiwan's response was calm and resolute. The military stayed on high alert, tracking PLA movements and providing transparent updates to reassure the public. Fighter jets and naval vessels shadowed Chinese forces, while President Lai Ching-te vowed to defend Taiwan's democracy and freedom. He condemned the drills, emphasized military readiness, and highlighted increased defense spending. The Coast Guard intercepted Chinese vessels near outlying islands, asserting Taiwan's jurisdiction with professionalism. Even after the drills ended, PLA ships and surveillance balloons lingered, keeping tensions high. Taiwan's forces remained vigilant, knowing the pressure campaign was far from over. Taiwan showed it would not be intimidated, standing firm in the face of escalating threats. The leaders' statements revealed starkly opposing visions. President Xi Jinping called reunification unstoppable, framing it as a historical inevitability and appealing to shared heritage, while backing his words with military threats. Xi's message: peaceful unification on Beijing's terms, or force if Taiwan resists. President Lai Ching-te countered, insisting only Taiwan's people can decide their future, rejecting Beijing's claims and pledging to safeguard democracy. He appealed to the world, framing Taiwan's struggle as a fight for global democratic values. Lai argued that strengthening defenses deters war, not provokes it. The standoff is now a contest of will, identity, and international support. The world responded to Justice Mission 2025 with alarm and condemnation. The U.S. State Department criticized Beijing's actions, urging restraint and reaffirming support for Taiwan. In contrast, former President Trump downplayed the threat, highlighting divisions in U.S. political circles. The European Union and major European nations echoed calls for peace, rejecting any change to the status quo by force. U.S. allies in the Indo-Pacific, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and the Philippines also voiced concern. The unified response signaled that Taiwan's fate is a global issue, not just a regional dispute. The Taiwan Strait is vital for global trade and technology. Conflict would have catastrophic economic and security consequences. International condemnation isolates Beijing and raises the cost of escalation. The world is watching and warning. The simulated blockade exposed Taiwan's greatest weakness, its economic dependence on the outside world. As an island with few natural resources, Taiwan relies on imports for energy and trade, especially through the port of Kaohsiung. The PLA's drills targeted these lifelines, showing how a blockade could cripple Taiwan's economy and daily life within days. Power outages, industrial shutdowns and shortages would quickly follow, threatening the semiconductor sector and public morale. Breaking a blockade would require risky military intervention, likely drawing in the US and allies. The exercises made clear, China is perfecting this strategy. Taiwan is now racing to build energy reserves, diversify supplies, and harden its ports. Economic resilience is now as critical as military strength. Justice Mission 2025 shattered any illusion of stability in the Taiwan Strait. China's drills were a political statement and a rehearsal for force, challenging the fragile status quo. Taiwan's strategy, military deterrence, and international alliances, but it cannot stand alone. The world's reaction shows the global stakes, trade, security, and the contest between democracy and authoritarianism. A conflict here would trigger a global crisis, with unpredictable consequences. The path forward demands diplomacy, deterrence, and unity against unilateral aggression. The future of the Taiwan Strait and global peace hangs in the balance.